So what do you what do you have in mind? What do you want to talk about today?
Um, more of the Michigan State game. I haven't
No.
watched much of Purdue.
All right. Don't know if they're worth it anyway. Um, I mean, it's the worst team in the Big Ten. You know what we should do? You should refute every single thing that you said on your YouTube video from yesterday.
Okay.
Just Bryce is not working out. We should be panicked about everything. Defense.
Well, should the offense pivot more towards like triple option, true flex bone formation that Army and Navy and Air Force have traditionally ran, or should they just totally go to the air raid? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Let's go air raid, abandon the run. Let's do that on this episode of Locked On Wolverines.
You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thursday. We are back and doing it. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I'm your man on the ground, Isaiah Hole, publisher of Wolverines Wire. That's our sign stealer. We are deep into the manifesto with Connor Stallions. That was something. But yeah, that's how we decide what we're going to talk about. Thus, we actually didn't finish the conversation.
Yeah, we actually need to. So what's segment 1, 2, and 3?
Segment 1, what do you think? Do you think we should do kind of...
segment 1 and 2, we can recap each side of the ball from the Michigan State game. Segment 3, I think, should be like a mystery segment. We decide on the fly. It could be anything. It could be something about Purdue. Maybe it could be like Purdue basketball. Maybe it could be Canada Mike. The Jays are one game away from winning the World Series.
I was about to actually say, we already know it's going to be about Canada Mike. And how he's terrified.
I think we need to give Michigan Mike a shout out, though.
Yeah, true. Michigan Mike does deserve a shout out. He was, as much as Canada Mike likes to say that he was the voice of the Sign Stealer documentary. He can't say face. His face wasn't in it. Michigan Mike was. He was in it. It went you, right. Michigan Mike, and then me well after Michigan Mike.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now that we've alienated everybody, let's what you released a video yesterday, and you basically have told everybody to calm down. You know, that usually works.
Oh, I thought I told them to panic. Everyone freak out.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a mixture of the two, but without like necessarily delving into too much into what you already have put out there on your own channel. Why do you think that Michigan fans, from an offensive standpoint, need to calm down?
Again, it's not the same. It's not similar, but when you take a step back, it's almost the same thing as USC, when it's like anytime you lose a game or it's not as pretty as you think it should have been, 90% of fans just immediately blame play calling, right? Unless you're winning the game 70-60. And I think it's just not that bad. Like, now I'm not going to sit here and just defend every single play call throughout the whole game. Like, yeah, there are a couple. There was, I think back to, I think I put this in that video where there was like a third and 12, 3rd and 15, where we ran the ball. We had the ball at our own 25-yard line, ran it. And I get it. People want to air it out on 3rd and long, but it's like, what if that, I think I said this, like, what if that strip sack that probably could have been upheld as a strip sack, what if that happened when you're backed up? And now you're giving an offense that can barely move the ball at the 10-yard line, or maybe they scoop and score. So I don't have a problem with running the ball on 3rd and 15, given the situation, when you're clearly the better team, running the ball well. Michigan State can't even get a first down on you. My problem, if you're going to complain about anything, would have been the previous play. I think it was 2nd and 12, and they tried a wide receiver screen to the boundary. Like, there are certain play calls throughout the game that, sure, if you really want to pinpoint and blame a play call here and there or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, the play calling's fine. The player execution is fine for the most part. There are some pass protection concerns maybe. And obviously, I mean, okay, yeah, there was one drop, but the receivers were fine. It's just like when you're running the ball for 5 yards a pop at minimum, why would you go away from that? I don't care if you have Tom Brady at quarterback and Randy Moss at receiver and you're playing Michigan State. If you know you're going to run the ball and get 5 yards a carry, I mean, just do it, get out of there with the win. So,
but
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing though. You say that, but now Bryce is going to go to Oregon. So
yeah, I started a rumor that Central Michigan wants him.
You know, and I've heard that it's part of your vast network. So, which leads me to another thing. This is just a side. I love that. So you were at the game in East Lansing, and just seeing the replies, like number one, people act like what you did was like a federal crime. Like, how is he allowed in the stadium? Why is he not in jail?
Purchasing tickets on SeatGeek is that'll get you crossed up with the FBI real quick.
It will, and that's why the FBI they've got a new office in Ann Arbor, and you know, that's just why. Yep. I was going to go further. We're going to stop there. But yeah, it's funny because you and I we connected last night, or I think it was, or maybe it was Tuesday night, but like, you're saying the same things that I've been saying, independent of the fact that we haven't talked to each other much this week. And yes, if you can run the football, you do it. You know Bryce personally. Do you think Bryce is big mad that he didn't throw for 300 yards in this game?
No. They got the trophy. They won. On to next week.
Looked so despondent after the game, though, in the post-game press conference, just frowning. Wasn't like, didn't have big smiles. Wasn't just like, you know, completely exuberant. Really just was, we asked him what he thought about the game, and, you know, beating Michigan State, having his first rivalry game and all of that, what it meant to him. And he said he was on his phone. He was sitting there saying, like, hold on, I'm trying to see what schools need a quarterback right now. That was what he said. He said, I don't care so much about the win. I care about my stats. Yeah.
Correct.
So,
yeah, I mean, and it's funny, like, on the topic of Bryce, and I, like, knowing him, he'd be the first person to tell you, like, he didn't play his best game. Right. Like, but again, we won. So he'll correct what he needs to correct. The staff will correct what, you know, they need to work on together with him. Specifically, I think in the pass pro, it's my gut feeling. I think a lot of like, without getting into too many details, I think there were a couple plays where he seemed uncertain or almost like hopeful that the pass protection holds up. And I think it's because he might not have as much responsibility in the pass protection that maybe he should. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud on this one right now, but you can see with his footwork a little bit, like, oh, you know, people like, why does he have happy feet, or why does he scramble so quickly sometimes? I think it might be a little bit because of uncertainty in the pass protection, and that's something they'll work on and get corrected in the next 3 weeks. It's not like, you know, people treat it like they play these games on Saturdays and then they don't talk during the week. Like, the team's not allowed to talk to each other. And then they go.
It's an NCAA violation for the team to talk to each other. Just like it was an NCAA violation. Remember, there was shocking footage of you talking to Jesse Minter during a game. Shocking.
Yeah.
The team's not allowed to talk to each other.
I mean, I didn't even know if I was allowed to know the people that I worked with.
I don't think you were, and it was a gross overreach by you to assume that Jim Harbaugh would even know who you were, and that's just egregious.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on to the defense, which was, let's face it, also a debacle. Complete disaster on the defensive side of the ball. Connor's got the reasons why. We're going to get to that here in just a moment. But before we do, the NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything, from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every single game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Connor, as down as you clearly were in segment one about the offense and feeling that they just, even when the run game was there, just everything should be a four verts. Go empty, throw it downfield. Don't even target a receiver. Just hope someone gets it down there. On the other side of the ball, you're even more gloom and doom. You feel like the defense was a disaster. The fact that MSU got any yards at all, just terrible. No, anyway, what do you think about the defense?
Yeah, I think it's very unacceptable to allow a team to get a first down.
That's what I've been saying.
Especially in the first half. Yes, Michigan held Michigan State to 0 first downs in the first quarter, but how do you give up more than 10 yards in the second quarter? It's disappointing. But no, I think
in 2016, they didn't give up a first down until the fourth quarter. That is what we judge every Michigan defense on now.
True. Yep. I think people, I think people are calming down. I think people are starting to realize a little bit. But for those that are concerned about, why are we not throwing the ball left and right, and why are we not doing X, Y, and Z, and why are we why this game was too close, we should have won by 50. I think one thing people have to realize too is football is such a complementary game, and if you're really asking for Michigan to air it out, first of all, it's not going to happen. But second of all, if they were to do that, then you're going from 12 possessions a game to probably 18 possessions a game, right? If you're just going to throw, it's going to be a more drawn out game because, incompletions, clock stops, more plays, more possessions. And then you got to be ready to play in a shootout, which is just that's not what Michigan wants to do. And so I think understanding how complementary the game is, if the defense is dominating and you're up by 2 possessions, what are we doing? We were up by, it was a 17-point game. And yes, they got a little bit momentum at the end of the third, early fourth. I'm not saying there wasn't a little bit of a concern there, but if you are up by 10 or 17 and you start throwing it left and right, even if you get a couple first downs and then all of a sudden, hey, one incompletion or one sack or any negative play sets you behind the sticks. Now it's 3rd and long. Say you have to end up punting, and you did all that with not much time going off the clock because you're throwing the ball and you had an incompletion here and there. And now all of a sudden Michigan State has it down by 2 possessions and say they drive and score. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand the logic of why, if you're running the ball well, why would you not just continue to run the ball and lean on your defense? Now, on the topic of the defense,
before you get to that,
yeah,
it's the same type of anger that came and was derived from the 2021 Washington game until it became clear that Michigan was capable of doing exactly what it did in that game. Penn State in 2023, people loved it. But obviously, I think expectations have changed because you got Bryce Underwood, but people forget he is a first-year player still. Anyway, defense.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, because now we have Bryce Underwood, we had J.J. McCarthy, right? He's a top 10 pick, right? I think Bryce is a top 10 pick. You can sit here and argue if they're, who's better or what. I mean, they're on different teams in relatively different eras, but yeah. So the defense, they continue to improve from that USC game, and not like one, just schematically, they're not blitzing nonstop and beating the wrong personnel. There were some 5-man pressures that were successful, but I said this in that video, the defensive backs played very well. They defended Marsh very well. And obviously Jimmy Roller balled out. Defensive line is good. I mean, Derrick Moore is unblockable. They're just playing sound football. The first mistake, that first down they gave up, linebacker in the wrong gap. I mean, it's when they simplify things, they're good enough to stop anyone. So I think just, keep seeing progress and keep seeing, as boring as it sounds, I would argue both sides of the ball. Sometimes boring is good, right? It means you're doing what you need to do to win the game. And you gotta be good at perfecting the boring if you're going to be a successful team. So if they can do that and just keep showing some progress, there's nothing specific that really needs to be addressed defensively. I mean, they can always improve in every area, but there's nothing that you watch that game and you're thinking, oh no, like that USC game is the screens and being in the wrong personnel and angles and this and that. But I mean, they've seemed to clean everything up. They've simplified the defense relatively. Right, they're still running some sims. They're still running some pressures. They're always going to throw some exotics at you if they get you in 3rd and long. But I mean, it's everything you want to see. So, I mean, unless you want to talk about anything specifically on defense.
No, I'm good. With that, let's move on. Move on to segment 3. Let's do that here in just a moment. But before we do, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved.
You said like our players, like your prayers, the impossible becomes irrelevant too, right?
Yeah, it does. That's a good way to get into segment 3, especially for those who are on the non-ad version. They have no idea what we're talking about. But Connor, Purdue, it's a powerhouse. I don't care. No one cares about Purdue. No offense to Purdue. No one cares.
Big basketball. Michigan, Purdue. I mean, that could be do they have a home and home? Do they play both places this year? I don't know.
I don't know. I forget the schedule about as fast as I look at it basketball wise, because it's like 80 games. Mm-hmm. But What do you feel like you need to see? Because
from the offense, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Because look, and I'll say this, coming out of that Michigan State game, if the offense looks exactly what they did against Michigan State, against Purdue, then okay, maybe I'll join in some like not panic mode, but like, all right, well, we need to see some certain things going into that last week. I do think there's an element of you want to have some uncertainty going into Ohio State. And by that, I mean, when Ohio State turns on the film, they're seeing the same thing that the fans are seeing. So for the fans to be like, oh, we want to see X, Y, and Z in the passing game, Ohio State's, when they turn on the film, they're saying the same thing. Man, what are they going to do on third down against us? What are they going to do in these situations? And so you want to have that element of surprise for that game. And then there's also a fine line of, you also don't want to be doing stuff for the first time in that game to an extent. So you want to see just enough progress in the next few weeks where you can see they're setting up plays. You can see, okay, they're opening it up a little more, maybe a little more quick game, a little more drop back. But again, at the same time, I mean, you're going to take whatever your opponent gives you. So, I think seeing fewer pass protection mistakes, like as a fan, like what am I looking for? Fewer pass protection mistakes, like looking like they have it sorted out more cleanly. And then a little bit more quick game and drop back. I'd say that from a play calling standpoint, that's what I'd be looking for. We know the boot game and the play action game is there. People have a very short memory and they forget to realize that 10 days ago or whatever it was when Michigan played Washington, there were no complaints about the passing game. It was great.
Oh, there still were some. I had questions on the mailbag. When is Michigan going to open up the passing game? And I'm like, my brother.
That was after Washington?
Yeah, I was like, my brother in Christ. Do you not did you not watch the game? Did you just not watch it? Did you watch another game? Did you watch the spring game? Is that what happened?
And here's the thing too. I'll go down a different rabbit hole, kind of on the topic of, like talking about Bryce and he's not happy. Look, and this is like for any position, when you get a mature, selfless, but talented player who knows he's got a future in the league, whether it's running back, quarterback, receiver, you name it. Receiver might be a little different, but like if I'm Jordan Marshall and I'm not getting the bulk of the carries, this was before Justice got a little banged up, right? But even in the Michigan State game, he wasn't getting the bulk of the carries. I'd say they're splitting. I didn't look at the exact numbers, but up to that game, Jordan's getting, up to the Washington game, Jordan's kind of taking a back seat to Justice Haynes. NFL scouts still turn on the tape and see Jordan Marshall's really good. So if I'm Jordan Marshall, I'm sitting there like, oh, wow, I don't have to carry the ball 30 times a game and still be a very relevant running back on a very successful rushing team. That's like selfishly great. It's like, miles on a tire. Like I don't have to be worn out by the time I graduate going on to the NFL. I can stay as fresh as possible while still, having my highlight reel and showing what I can do. It's kind of the same thing with Bryce. Like Bryce, and I'm going to speak as if I were thinking in his shoes or his family. Like if I'm watching, my kid or brother, or if I am Bryce and he doesn't have to sling the ball around the field, 30 times a game and go for 400 passing yards. It sounds cool, but at the same time, scouts turn on the film and you can see how good he is, right? And like, I guess what I'm saying is, who cares what the opinion of, Joe Schmo on Twitter is saying, when Joel Klatt, Dan Orlovsky, all the guys that actually matter and know what they're talking about, when they're like, yeah, you can see this kid's talent. And so if you can, I'm not suggesting that Michigan does this for the next 3 years, but especially like you said, freshman year, if he can win games while not being, it's not a requirement for him to throw for 400 yards to win the game. Why would you be upset about that if you're him? Like, personally, oh, sweet, I can still be a future top 10 pick, and we win games, and like I can just kind of steadily progress as we move forward. And yeah, I mean, I know that's kind of a little bit of a rabbit hole there, but when you talk about these games, like, it's not like Bryce throwing for 400 yards is going to make or break recruiting or his draft stock, or obviously, if you would hope, if we win the game or not. So screw it. To be concerned that he's concerned or he's upset, like, one, you just don't understand how competitive he is and how most of these guys operate. Like, you're not going to Michigan if you're a selfish, me, I want my stats. And I mean, why did you commit to Michigan if that was ever the case?
I blacked out. All I heard was he's gone.
Nice, Oregon, portal, $15 million, Nike.
Yeah, bringing in a quarterback that's never played the position before. Maybe have to switch someone who hasn't played it in a while, like Max Bredesen, over midseason to try to beat Ohio State. That's all I heard. And I think you're right with that. So, honestly, we're at 27 minutes. Technically, it's supposed to be 28 minutes total.
Okay, so Blue Jays or Dodgers, is that tomorrow? Is Canada Mike going to be at the game?
I don't know, and I'm assuming he's going to be at Michigan, but who knows? Because he likes baseball when his team is in the World Series, and that's it, right?
Fair weather Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, we just call them bad weather Canadians because that's all they have.
Okay.
It's all they have. Which, he's like the fourth Canadian on my list anyway, because Peter McKinnon's now my favorite Canadian. Make sure everyone knows that. Let's finish out with just the final question here. Why is Canada Mike actually the worst Canadian that there is?
Well, I always go back to, he brings American Tim Hortons to Ann Arbor.
It's shameful.
If you're going to bring Tim Hortons, you got to bring Canadian Tim Hortons. I think you mentioned that he only likes baseball when the Blue Jays are good. And he didn't go to the Michigan State game. I guess that's too far of a drive, but Ann Arbor's not.
Yeah, I heard something. He was scared to.
He heard that there were multiple Sudoku sheets ready in East Lansing, and he got nervous that Spartan fans are a little more rowdy, and we're going to give him a lot of crap after he lost.
Well, he didn't want to be, figuratively buried on the banks of the Red Cedar. So
correct.
All right, we're at 29 minutes. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you for joining our tomfoolery.
I love how it's like, man, we just got to find stuff to fill this time.
I mean, we could go another half hour, honestly, but it would probably be a bunch more nonsense. If you were just wanting kind of to understand what this is typically like, it's nonsense.
I can't see the title for this one. Did we even talk about football?
I think we mentioned it in the cold open, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will talk to you again soon. We'll have Jack Tuttle on Friday. Peace.